Hi and Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Fahim Farhan. My metric number is BCE202017. So today, me and our group are going to present about Islamic Sex Education. So first is introductions. Although the Quran has placed so much emphasis on acquiring knowledge, and in the day of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muslim men and women were never too shy to ask questions, including those related to private affairs such as sexual life. For Muslim parents of today, sex is a dirty word. They feel uncomfortable in discussing sex education with their children, but do not mind the same being taught at their children's school by secular or non-Muslim teachers of even opposite sex, by their peers of either sex, and by the media and television. An average child is exposed to 9,000 sexual scenes per year. These days, parents should know that sex is not always a dirty word. It is an important aspect of our life. God, who cares for all the aspects of our life and not just the way of worshipping Him, discusses reproduction, creation, family life, menstruations, and even ejaculation in the Quran. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who was sent to us as an example, discusses many aspects of sexual life, including sexual position within comparisons. The main reason Muslim parents do not or cannot discuss sex education with their children is because of their culture upbringing, not their religion's training. They are often brought up in a state of ignorance in regard to sex issues. As a result, they may not be comfortable with their own sexualities or its impressions. They leave Islamic education to Islamic Sunday school and sex education to American public school and the media. Next is Islamic concept of sexualities. Islam recognizes the power of the sexual needs, but the subject is discussed in the Quran and the saying of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in a serious manner. In regard to marital and family life, parents should familiarize themselves with this body of knowledge. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "When one of you having sex with your wife, it is a rewarded act of charity." The companions were surprised and said, "But we do it purely out of our desires. How it can counted as charity?" The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, "If you had done it with a forbidden woman, it would have been counted as a sin. But if you do it in legitimacy, it is counted as charity. Let not one of you fall upon his wife like a beast fall. It is more appropriate to send a message before the act. Do not divulge the secrets of your sex life with your wife to other persons, nor describe her physical features to anyone."
Assalamualaikum to all friends and Madam Najiha. My name is Muhammad Nasruddin bin Muhammad. My metric number is DBA202019. So let's proceed to my part. Why do children get involved in sex? There are many reasons why children get involved in sex. The most common is peer pressure. Because everyone else is doing it, they usually respond. One of the causes is their desire for mature sexual competency and a chance to advance in life. Another common reason is that they want to improve their self-esteem by becoming a father or mother. It is sometimes owing to a lack of their other option for diverting their sexual urges. It is also possible that it is due to a lack of love and appreciation at home. Detachment from one's own home can lead to connection to something else. They are subjected to sexual pressure from their peers at school, as well as from the television, which broadcasts around 20,000 sexual scenes in advertisement. Soap operas, prime time shows, and MTV. The hardcore rock music nowadays fans the flames of sexual desire. The majority of parents have no idea what kind of music their children are listening to. They will understand what they are talking about if they are listening to rock songs like Eat Me Alive, Judas Priest, Purple Rain, Prince, Losing It, Madonna, The Last American Virgin, Papa Don't Preach, Private Dancer, Tina Turner, Material Girl, Madonna, and Cyndi Lauper's songs. The song contain obscene word and line prompting Candy Strut, a former rock lover, to plead with parents to keep their children away from what she refers to as pornographic rock. This demonstrates that music has an impact on our sexual mood. It accomplishes this by triggering melatonin, a hormone produced by the pineal gland in the brain that is activated by darkness and deactivated by flashing light. It is the same gland that is thought to cause puberty and has an impact on the reproductive cycle and sexual mood. So the next part is, what is the role of parents? Parents are being blamed by American educators for their failings, in bracket teen pregnancy. In fact, in Wisconsin and many other states, a baby delivered to a teenager's grandparents is liable for the child financial support. It is important to remember that parents are not required if their teenager's daughter requires contraception or an abortion. When confronted with such hypocrisy, parents must instill in their children what is not taught in sex education classes, such as reasons not to participate in sex, reasons not to get pregnant, and so on. Simultaneously, students should channel their energies into useful pursuits such as community service, sport, character development, or Sunday schools. Another responsibility of parents is to assist their children in making sound decisions. In Islam, anything which leads to wrong is also considered wrong. Therefore, parents should control the music children are listening to or the TV program they are watching, the magazines they are reading, and the clothes which will provoke desire in the opposite sex they are wearing. While group social activity should be permitted with supervision, dating should not be allowed. When American teenagers start dating, sex is on their mind. In fact, according to a recent poll, 20% of college freshman boys believe they have the right to compel a girl to have sex provided they have paid for the meal and she does not go all the way. Many rapes take place at the conclusion of the date and go unreported. Anything that causes sexual inhibition and loss of self-control, such as alcohol, drugs, parking, cursing, or simply being together in a secret location for two members of the opposite sex should not be allowed for Muslim youth. Kissing and stroking the body prepares it for sex. The body can be pushed to its breaking point. In summary, Muslim parents should teach their children that they are different from non-Muslim in their value system and way of life. Having a feeling and love in your heart for someone of the opposite sex is different and beyond control, while expression of the same through sex is entirely different and should be under control. Muslim children should be told that they don't drink alcohol, eat pork, take drugs, and they don't have to engage in premarital sex either. So that's all from me. So I would like to pass to my next friends.
Assalamualaikum and hi to everyone. So my name is Muhammad Dina Ikmal Khairuddin. My metric number is DBA 203006. So I will continue explain about my part. So my part is concept of adultery in Islam. God say in Quran, do not go near to adultery. Surely it is a shameful deed and evil, opening roads to other evils. Quran Surah 70 verse 32. Say verily my Lord has prohibited the shameful deeds, be it open or secret, sins and trespasses against the truth and reason. Quran Surah 7 verse 33. Women impure are for men impure, and men impure are for women impure, and women of purity are for men of purity, and men of purity are for women of purity. Quran Surah 24 verse 26. Prophet Muhammad SAW has said in many places that adultery is one of the three major sins. However, the most interesting story is that of a young man who went to the Prophet and asked for permission to fornicate because he could not control himself. The Prophet dealt with him with reasoning and asked him if he would approve of someone else having illegal sex with his mother, sister, daughter or wife. Each time, the man said no. Then the Prophet replied that the woman with whom you plan to have sex is also somebody's mother, sister, daughter or wife. The man understood and repented. The Prophet prayed for his forgiveness. Adultery is a crime not against one person but against the whole society. It is a violation of marital contract. 50% of all first-time marriage in this country result in divorce in 2 years, and the main reason for divorce is the adultery of one of the partners. Adultery, which include both premarital and extramarital sex, is an epidemic in this society. Nobody seems to listen to the Bible, which say frequently, "Thou shalt not commit adultery." The Quranic approach is, "Do not approach adultery." What does it mean? That not only is illegal sex prohibited, but anything which lead to illegal sex is also illegal. These things include dating, free mixing of the sexes, provocative dress, nudity, obscenity, and pornography. The dress code both for men and women is to protect them from temptation and desire by onlooker who may lose self-control and fall into sins. Say to the believing men that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. That will make for greater purity, and God is well acquainted with all they do. And say to the believing women that they should lower their gaze and guard their modesty. Quran 24:30, Surah 24 verse 30 to 31. So next part, I will explain about concept of marriage in Islam. Islam recognizes the strong sexual urge and desire for reproduction. Thus, Islam encourage marriage as a legal sexual mean and as a shield from immorality set without commitment. In Islam, the marriage of a man and woman is not just a financial and legal living arrangement, not even just for reproduction, but providing a total commitment to each other, a contract witnessed by God. Love and joy of companionship is a part of the commitment. A married couple assumes a new social status and responsibility for himself, his wife and his children, and for the community. The Quran says, among his signs is that he create concert for you from among yourself, so that you may find tranquility with them. And he set love and compassion between you. Verily, in this are signs for people who reflect. Quran, Surah 13, verse 21. Saying of Prophet Muhammad, marriage is my tradition. He who reject my tradition is not of me. Hadis Bukhari Muslim. Marriage is half of religion. The other half is being God-fearing. Hadis Tabarani Hakim. In Islam, there is no fixed rule as to the age of marriage. It is becoming fashionable for young Muslim and men not to marry until they have completed their education, have a job, or reach age 26 to 30 or more. Similarly, young Muslim girls say they want to marry after age 24. Why? When asked, they say, I'm not ready for it. Not ready for what? Don't they have normal sexual desire? If the answer is yes, then they have only one of the two choice. A. Marry, or B. Postpone sex. Abstinence until the marry. The Quran says, let those who find not the way withal of for marriage to keep themselves chaste till God find them the mean from His grace. Quran Surah 24 verse 33. The Prophet said, those of you who own the means should marry, otherwise should keep fasting, for it curbs desires. Ibn Masud. The Western reason for delaying marriage is different than ours. When I suggest this to one of my sexually active young female patients, she bluntly said, I don't want to sleep with the same guy every night. So next part, I will move to my friend. Thank you.
Hi and Assalamu alaikum to everyone. My name is Mohammad Faris and my metric number is DBA 2020-23. Today I'm going to talk about a curriculum for Islamic sex education. Islamic sex education should be taught at home starting at an early age. Before giving education about anatomy and psychology, the belief in God creator should be well established. As Russian novelist Dostoevsky quoted, if there is no God, everything is permitted. That means the lack of belief of awareness of God gives an okay for wrongdoing. Father should teach his son and mother should teach her daughter. In the absence of a willing parents, the next best choice should be a Muslim male teacher, preferable physician for boys, and a Muslim female teacher, preferably a physician for a girl, at the Sunday Islamic school. The curriculum should be tailored according to the age of the children and classes be held separately. Only pertinent answer to a question should be given. By this, I mean that if a 5 years old asks how he or she got into mommy's stomachs, there is no need to describe the whole act of intercourse. Similarly, it is not necessary to tell a 14-year-old how to put on condoms. This might be taught in premarital class just before his or her marriage. A curriculum for sex education should include include sexual growth and development, timetable for puberty, physical chances during puberty needed for family life, and B. Psychology of reproductive system. For girls, the organ, menstruation, and premature syndrome. For boys, the organ, the sex drive. C. Conception, development of fetus and birth. D. Sexually transmitted disease like VD or AIDS. Emphasize the Islamic aspect. E. Mental, emotional, and social aspects of puberty. F. Social, moral, and religious ethics. And lastly, how to avoid peer pressure. The next slide is sex education after marriage. There are the verse in Quran that is, they are your garments and you are their garments. That means husband and wives are described as garments for each other. A garment is very close to our body, so they should be close to each other. A garment protects and shields our modesty, so they should do the same to each other. Garments are put on any time we like, so should they be available to each other anytime. A garment adds to our beauty, so they should praise and beautify each other. For husbands, I should say the sex is an expression of love, and one without the other is incomplete. One of your job is to educate your wife in matters of sex, especially in yours like and dislike, and do not compare her to other women. For wives, I want to say that a man's sexual needs are different than women's. Instead of being a passive recipient of sex, try to be an active partner. He is exposed to many temptation outside the home. Be available to please him and do not give him a reason to make a choice between you and hellfire. Thank you.